Hello everybody, welcome into the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. Tonight, Ghost Racing Network is back for some FEG midweek money racing action under the lights here at Daytona International Speedway. Drivers currently completing qualifying. Let's get some things up, ready to go here, starting with the tower. We show you just how long's left as we are taking a look right here at the 88 of John Bell. Going to see quite a few new guys. They may not be new to FEG-PC, but they are new for me because I haven't been here in a little while. So we'll see what kind of lap, see if we potentially have a new winner. Good to see everybody out in the chat. Hopefully everybody's having a pretty good Wednesday here. Trying to get through the week. Tomorrow is Thursday. FEG going to be picking up money racing action as we dive deeper into the week and going into the weekend. Saturday will be a big race. I'm talking over $2,000 worth of payouts from what I remember seeing in the poster. Make sure you check that out. We'll have more storylines to come throughout the race. But as the 88's going to continue his lap, let's go check out some of the other guys that we're going to be seeing tonight. One of them is going to be Kason Harnish in the 51 Rowdy Energy truck. And he'll see if he can put that Chevrolet Silverado on the pole. Jackson Holbrook was in the last race they were just in the 20. Pretty good looking paint scheme there. How about Larry McDonald, one of the McCall Motorsports drivers? He's going to be out here seeing if he can maybe get himself a win. Dives to the apron, so this is going to be his lap. And guess who? You see it right now on the pole as we're going to give the SDK a quick refresh so that all the paints will update. But it's Steve Korosek. No shock there. We were talking about the other night how this guy is just on a streak. I mean, somebody's going to have to eventually figure out what he's doing because he sweeps every pole for the last, I'm talking 5+ races that I've done. I've yet to see any race that I've been broadcasting with him in it, someone beat him for the pole just yet. Ron Morris Jr. finishing up. That's one of the McCall Motorsports drivers as well. How about Justin Ritchie in the 7? Danny Eshelman, Kason Harnish. Looks like he's going to try another lap. Nope, he's going to park it. It is 2 laps solo qualifying. Drivers take that first warm-up lap. Some of them do take a different approach. Just kind of depends. We see a mix of some guys that will go ahead and run both the warm-up lap where they come out of pit road and that first lap on the top lane, try to get as much speed as they can. We also see a lot of drivers, and I think this is what Steve Korosek was doing, is they'll come out of pit road, use that lap to really get up to speed, but they won't waste any time on that second lap. They'll get right down to the yellow line, hug it all the way around the track, and see if they can run the pole. Looks like John Bell currently sitting 17th. Not the greatest qualifying effort, but the beautiful thing about these super speedway races is you don't have to start in the front to have a chance to win them, and it's going to be a decent amount of laps tonight at 45 laps. Quick couple of notes before we do get started for everybody watching. As I said, hopefully everybody's having a good week out there. Did drop the broadcast link. If you guys want to share it with anybody else that you think might want to watch, come check us out. We certainly appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing tonight, don't forget to give us a like. Let us know you are enjoying it. We did put a poll out as 45 seconds remain here in qualifying. We said, will we see more than 3 cautions tonight? And it looks like 80% of the 5 of you that voted said yes. Pretty strong numbers, and I wouldn't bet against it. Carson Catlin in the 420 truck. And I'll tell you what, it is a cannabis truck, but nonetheless, I love the colors on that paint scheme. This might be one of my favorite color schemes of all time. That nice bright white with the light blue. Just really good looking paint scheme. That does look like it is going to wrap it up for all the drivers here for qualifying. Don't see anybody else looking to come out on track right now. And the white flag getting ready to be thrown, and that means we will go get everything set up, getting ready to go green. Get your picks in the chat. Let me know, who do you think is going to win? You never know. Maybe you'll get it right. Got to start doing some giveaways or something for these calls at the beginning of these races. See if anybody can maybe win themselves a couple dollars. And let's get tonight started as we have arrived back here with the race info. It's the FEG-PC Money Racing. And, of course, go check out FEG-PC at www.fegpc.net. We are at the World Center of Racing, the high banks of Daytona International Speedway, the most famous track in racing. And it is going to be heavy banking in the corners, over 30 degrees. Big 2.5-mile super speedway. Bump drafting going to be what you see all night. We are here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's going to be a 45-lap event, 100% fuel, unlimited tires as always, one fast repair as always, and also fixed setups as always. There will be green-white checkers as well. However, not sure the exact number that we have set for tonight, so we'll see if we can find that out. Hopefully we don't need them. These guys can finish under green. 2-mile-per-hour wind, partly cloudy skies, 56% humidity, and 77 degrees Fahrenheit outside temperature. Let's move down to your starting grid. The man who is going to be sitting on the pole tonight, not too surprised here. If you've been following us on Ghost Racing Network, you shouldn't be either. It is going to be Steve Korsek gets another pole in the 27 truck to his outside. It's going to be Sean Hill from McCall Motorsports, qualifying effort from one of the McCall Motorsports drivers tonight. Zachary Lima starts third to his outside. Chad Ross. Row 3 is going to be Jackson Holbrook and Eddie Hawks. And from what I heard, these two maybe a slight bit of bad blood from the last race. We'll see how it pans out. 7th is going to be John Mullihan. 8th, Alex Giffen. Good to see Alex here tonight. I believe it is his first money race. We'll see. He can get himself in the money. He's got a good start where he is. 9th, Ron Morris Jr. 10th is going to be Mark Math, it looks like. That's another new driver. We'll see if he can have a good run. 11th is going to be Carson Catlin. 12th, Tony Cox. Good to see Tony back out here as well. 13th, Ken McCall Jr. 14th, Ambrose Kniebel. Row 8 is going to be Justin Ritchie and Nicholas Fontenot. 17th is going to be Rocky Thixton. 18th, John Bell. Danny Eshelman starts 19 to his outside, and row 10 is going to be Ricky Hammock. Moving back to 21st, Kaysen Harnish in the 51. Larry McDonald in the 80s starting in 22nd. Christopher McCall 23rd. 24th is Brian Hennings, and starting 25th, last truck in the field tonight, is going to be Mark Vondell in the 59. Good showing here. You got to remember, it's a Wednesday night, so sometimes you really wouldn't think that we necessarily have a lot of guys out here, but everybody antsy from maybe the Jimmy Crow race earlier or what, I'm not sure, but either way, good field tonight, and that means we are going to see some great racing. I'm getting excited. You know who else is probably pretty excited right now is the driver behind the wheel of the 27 Snap-on truck, and that is Steve Korsek. All he needs now is to get Zachary Lima to stay with him, which they're going to be starting bumper to bumper rather. So I think these two are going to be looking to be dominant, pull away early. We might see the 4 truck, if he can, try to jump to the outside of the 27 just so they can both control their respective lanes. See if anybody else can play a role back here at FEG-PC. Remember, there is going to be a 3-wide rule. We can't see any 3-wide for the first couple laps. We'll see how these guys are able to adjust and handle that. Pace car is going to pull off. We're ready to go green, and there it is. Green flag flash. 45 laps at Daytona starts here. Steve Korsek crosses the line with a quick through Zachary Lima. And sure enough, jumps right to the top lane. So they're already playing that strategy that we thought maybe we'd see from him. No surprise to see them all jumping up this early on, as everybody is still getting up to speed. Does take these trucks a little while to get all the way up to speed, about a lap. And once they do, they'll be running the high 180s, low 190s sometimes. But into turn 3 for the first time, Steve Korsek must not have liked too much Sean Hill pushing, because he drops right back down in front of his Dale Cup teammate Zachary Lima. And this is going to be a drought race for who is going to lead lap 1 right now. Looks like, and the 20 has already pulled off the track. This is going to be Jackson Holbrook on the apron in the trial. We'll see if he can keep it gathered up. Ron Morris Jr. pulls high to give him plenty of room. Nice save by the 20 to make sure he doesn't come back up in anybody. Tony Cox lets him slide in line now. Just above him is going to be the 337 Nicholas Fontenot. Ron Morris Jr. been having a good run here on Monday. I believe he did place in the money. That was not streamed here on Ghost Racing, but just some insight that we heard from these guys. How about Ambrose Kniebel in the 04? You find Ambrose out here on a weeknight. If it's not Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you better believe he knows how to get the job done. Looks like he is blinking a little bit. Tony Cox in the 72. We almost saw him get back into the money last night in the Tuesday Night Thunder Series. Didn't quite work out, but he's currently sitting in 15th. See if he can have a better run in the trucks. Larry McDonald, Christopher McCall. It looks like Ricky Hammock must have had an issue, because he is not on the lead lap as it sits. Mark Von Dell, the last truck rather, on the lead lap. And we'll pull up the track map real quick. We'll see it there. They might be getting ready to lap him as Ricky does sit 2 laps down. No damage to that truck, but he's going to need some cautions in a hurry here. See if he can potentially get him. And I do want to check something on my phone real quick about the fuel, because I thought I remembered it being 100%, but for some reason now I'm double questioning myself. Steve Korsak still leads Zachary Lima, though. Sean Hill to the outside. It's going to be Eddie Hawks third, Chad Ross fourth, John Mulhan fifth. It looks like Steve Korsak tried to get to that top lane again, but man, I'm telling you, him and the 77 not linking up well. Oh, looks like Eddie Hawks. Can they hold it together? They can't. They're wrecking in the trial. Yellow flag is out. The 337 has damage. That's Nicholas. They are still wrecking further back. Looks like the 420, it is the cannabis car. I'm not sure exactly who this is. It's going to be Carson Catlin is involved. Danny Eshelman has big damage. And this looked like an incident that's all going to start up front with the 27 of Steve Korsak and slowly makes itself all the way to the back where somebody finally lost it. So let's go take a look at it. Let's start here. I think I like this view of it. Here's what we're going to do. So let's change this to the spotter view. And watch the 27 here. He is going to jump up the track. Or this was earlier, so let me back this up a little bit more for everybody because this is where it's already happened. Right here, 27 is going to jump up the track. We'll play this a little faster. Now watching the travel here, he gets a bad bump. He's going to try to get down in front of his teammate Zachary Lima. I think Lima was already there. Sure enough, he was. Lima's trying to not clip his teammate, so he dives on the apron, checks up a little bit. That checks the 45 up the 19. John Mullihan just barely touches the back bumper of Eddie Hawks, as he couldn't see, of course. And then after this, it is just going to slowly back up. Eddie Hawks. Actually, it doesn't look like Eddie is going to get part of this, but this is not where this is going to initially start. So watch the 45 gets in the grass here. Looks like he's going to do a pretty good job, but there it is. You see the 20. Jackson Holbrook makes contact with, I believe, yep, that is going to be the 420 truck, the 337. They both spin. Thankfully, the rest of the field looks like maybe they were able to avoid it. We'll see if Ken McCall Jr. sneaks by. Sure enough, he is able to. The 88, oh man, just barely shooting the gap as the 420 truck goes all the way up the track. And then there you go, 22, nowhere to go. That was Rocky Thixton. And then the 6, Danny Eshelman, still trying to recover at that point. Looks like Case and Harnish there. You see him all the way on the bottom coming back up. He was also able to get around it. And let's take another look at this, but this time let's look at it from the pit road cam, see if this gives us any better idea maybe. And you see the 45's already on the apron, so I think we saw the actual contact really start. The 420 is going to get the worst of it either way, so this is what we're going to watch here. Already on the apron, the 20 shoots up the track into the 420. That sends him to the outside wall, and then it's on from here. Ron Morse Jr. gets turned. 420 truck almost up and over. Able to stay on the ground, though, as you see the 20 sliding by now. Rest of the field scrambles. But that does bring out your first caution. Let's go back live and up front, as I think we might see some pit stops here. Looks like your top 5, though, as they run right now, is going to be Chad Ross sitting in first, Alex Giffen second, Mark Math third, fourth is going to be Justin Ritchie, and rounding out the top 5 is going to be Brian Hennings. For some reason, I feel like I didn't talk about Brian in the grid. I'm not sure if I somehow accidentally missed him or what. He is up 19 spots from where he started. Pretty incredible go right now. I was wondering if that caution would help out one driver that we had 2 laps down of Ricky Hammock. And it looks like, and this is a pretty cool rule here that we have in FEG-PC that Jeff puts on for these guys. And I'll tell you what, he was 2 laps down. May have had an internet issue getting in because it looks like Jeff has allowed him to get both of his laps back. Really cool thing. All these guys pay good money to get out here, and it's good to let them at least have a chance of potentially doing something in the race. A couple chats since we went underway. It looks like BB has joined. Says, hello, everyone. How's it going, BB? Good to see you in here. Shirley Cox and Bean Sitton, both Tony Cox fans, rooting him on. See if Tony can get it done tonight. Currently sitting in 11th, up 1 spot from where he started. As we see, Ken McCall Jr. is going to make his way down pit road. And I'm going to go back real quick to the point of looking at fuel while these guys are pitting, because it is a big factor. We said 100% at the beginning of the race, but I think part of my mind was stuck on the fact that that is what it's been in just about every race that I've been broadcasting in the last 2 weeks, but it may be different here. Nope, it is not. Sure enough, it is going to be 100% fuel still. And with that being the case, these guys all are going to be able to go 30 to 32 laps on a can of fuel, so they're not quite in that fuel window just yet, but it's getting close. At this point, if we get a caution, 5 laps after we go green, I think you'll see everybody come back down pit road, make sure they top off on fuel, and they will be good to go to make it till the end. Didn't see everybody pit here, I'm not thinking. That is why Chad Ross, who's sitting first, the 99, Alex Giffen second. Mark Math in the 199 third, Justin Ritchie fourth, Ryan Hennings fifth. Pace car lights are off. We are going to go green this time. And Jeff in the chat says, thank you guys for supporting the drivers. Of course, these guys hear it day in and day out from them. They all really like the broadcast, not only just to watch, of course, that is the main reason, but also they like having some fans out here. Makes them excited to do the interviews post-race. Did you hear it? Hit that like button. Doesn't cost you a thing. He says it might even get a pay raise. Well, maybe with due time. We'll see. Either way, love doing this for the drivers out here. Here we go. Pace cars off. Chad Ross, Alex Giffen, green flag back in the air here at Daytona. John Mullahan, ooh, shuffled right up in front of Larry McDonald. Behind them is the 51 Case and Harnish, but diving down into turn one, Mark Math has the better push on Chad Ross. Steve Korsak, Zachary Lima, those were a couple drivers that did pit, so they are further back. They know they'd like to go 3 wide, but they're not going to do it just yet. They will have to make sure they wait until that 3 wide rule is out of play. And everybody snaking around down the backstretch. I'll tell you what, if this was the last 10 laps where that 3 wide rule was off, you would see a lot more snaking than what we are seeing right now. Justin Ritchie in the 7 still on the top, trying to give a big push to Alex Giffen to get him out in front. The 77, Sean Hill, third truck on that outside. Ooh, he's got to be careful. You saw the 99 fall to the middle. Doesn't have to worry about it these first 2 laps, but if he makes that mistake, once they can go 3 wide, I promise you the field is going to go right by him on the outside. The ride from the rear view. Chad Ross, as you see him getting that push, looking further back. Drivers won't push quite as hard as you see. John Mullahan right now is leaving a little gap. He'll close this up a little bit on the straightaway if he really wants to. Zachary Lima to his outside. Larry McDonald behind him. And there's the view of the field roaring by at over 185 miles an hour. 188 as they dive down into turn 3. Those speeds going to continue to pick up at least slightly as the night goes on. That's because everybody's going to start pushing a lot harder. Daytona under the lights, I think, still might have to remain as my favorite track and favorite time of the day to do it. Just something special about it. You feel like you're in the biggest moment. We know the Daytona 500 in real life always, usually at least, ends at nighttime. So these guys really like going at it at night. One of the differences, though, at Daytona between Talladega and some of these drivers who maybe haven't been to Daytona a little while is the 3 wide is a lot tighter. And we were just about to get a good example of that. We saw Sean Hill ducking to the outside. He's trying to see if Steve Korsak wants to go with him. But now it looks like the 7's going to jump high. Maybe he doesn't feel too comfortable. I'm not sure if he was trying to make a move, but if he did, nobody went with him, and he's going to get shuffled out. To the back goes Justin Ritchie. He's having a pretty solid run, though, so far. That's going to put Sean Hill now on the bumper of the 99, and they're going to start making progress in a hurry because Sean Hill is one of the best pushers out here. Case and Harnish, who got a little wiggly further back off turn 4. Think he's getting a pretty good push. Let's go back and take a look at some of these guys. Tony Cox right now having a good run, up 4 spots from where he started, sitting in 8th, now inside that top 10. You see him on the bottom. Pretty comfortable spot right there as long as these guys stay 2 wide. If they go 3 wide, he might have to rethink it just a little bit. Going further back, Larry McDonald. He's got his teammate Eddie Hawks in front of him. They just watched the 7 truck, Justin Ritchie, jump high. There's Case and Harnish in the 51, we saw get a little loose off the bumper of the 22 of Rocky Thixton. Rocky looks like he is on a mission to go to the front. Meanwhile, the 51 going to chill in the back for a little bit longer. The 20, Jackson Holbrook, he's got some damage to the front and back of that truck, and it looks pretty bad. I'm actually surprised he's able to maintain his position so well. The good thing about it, though, is he's going to save that fast spare by doing this. And if they start to get racy and potentially wreck again, he'll still have that fast spare. Let's go back up front, though, because it's starting to get a little wild. You see it 3 wide up front. Zachary Lima, Steve Korsak have jumped to the outside. Sean Hill in the 99 still of Alex Giffen in the middle. Chad Ross and Mark Math on the bottom. Ooh, and Zachary Lima. Those two have probably the best chemistry of anyone in the field, at least right now. We don't really see many teammates together, at least up front. But that is a pair of teammates, a pair of best friends too. Dale Cup, shout out to Dale Cup real quick. We will see Ghost Racing. We're broadcasting them on Friday. Door to door, though, just look how tight it is here at Daytona. They cannot go 4 wide here. They can think about it as much as they want. We've seen it before at Talladega. You will not see it here. It just doesn't work. Doesn't matter how hard you try to do it. Just those little bobbles that we see from time to time. When you get behind a truck, you're trying to make sure you don't get offset, but you're also trying to follow their line. But Sean Hill did a nice job of pushing. He was able to get that 99 clear. Steve Korsak's going to jump down in front. Just when Sean Hill thought he was maybe going to get some clean air, he's now going to be the pusher again of the 27. That opens up to Zachary Lima up top. Ooh, the 99 moves up the track a little bit off of turn 2. Got to be careful doing that. He almost got up into the door. Oh, now they do make contact. Sean Hill, Steve Korsak. Steve Korsak gets through, but they're wrecking down the back. No caution yet. And they're going to hold it together somehow. We got multiple drivers through the grass. There we go. Caution now out. I was a little surprised that it didn't come out a bit sooner. Sean Hill going to be involved in this one. Danny Esterman looks like he's going around. Ricky Hammock's already on pit road. May have been from the last sentence. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, we have that turned into a mess. We saw them almost make contact off of turn 2 all of a sudden. Down the backstretch, they finally wadded it up. So let's take a look just how this is going to start. Already wrecking here, so we'll back this up even more. Caution did take a while to come out that time. Hoping that didn't potentially be the reason it took other drivers out. Unfortunately, iRacing's code sometimes not the smartest when it comes to throwing a caution. But let's ride this from the screenshot view. Let's see if maybe Steve Korsak, and I'm trying to analyze this for you the best I can here, because I think I have an idea. Watch the 77 and the 27 right here on this middle line. You see the 27, Steve Korsak doesn't look like he's doing anything aggressive. He's just staying where he's at right now. 77, Sean Hill gets on his bumper. Oh, I'm going to need another shot of this. I mean, you see what happens here. Of course, 77 does get into the door of the 4, but I'm trying to figure out if there was by any chance any contact behind, or if he just kind of gets a little sideways pushing the 27. It looks like that's the case. Yeah, sure enough, pushing the 27. He gets just a little bit sideways, and once he does, gets into the 4, Zachary Lima. They come back down the track, get into Chad Ross, the 199 as well. Mark Math was having such a good day. The 77 gets airborne, lands on top of the roof of the 4, comes back down. The 72, Tony Cox, looks like he is going to get a little bit of damage from this as well. The 88 couldn't sneak by. There's the 15 into that outside wall pretty hard. The 337, Nicholas Fontenot, he gets in it. Larry McDonald's trying to squeak through here. Looks like, oh, unfortunately, he's going to make some contact with the 15. I think right here maybe is what draws the caution when the 80 goes up into the wall. And then the 77 slides back up the track. Oh, and there's his teammate, Ken McCall Jr. Ken looked like maybe he'd get through. It was really far back. Probably didn't think that the trucks would still be sliding up the track, but that's what happened. I want to take one more view of this. Let's watch this from the blimp cam. Watch this 77 right here. Boom, contact. Hits the right side door of the 4 and just nowhere to go. All these guys hit pretty hard. Tony Cox has some front end damage. His didn't look as bad, but right here, 77 still has a lot of speed. Back up the track. The 03 makes significant contact. That might be a fast pair for Ken McCall Jr. as well, along with a lot of these other drivers. Looks like Edward 420 does say second yellow flag. So far, your guys' voting is looking pretty strong as we're just one away from that 3 yellow mark. Back live up front, it's going to be Steve Korsak in the 27. Second, Chad Ross. Third, Jackson Holbrook. Fourth, John Mullahan. Rounding out the top 5, McCall Motorsports driver Eddie Hawks. And let's go see how some of these guys are doing that have been involved in incidents tonight. Unfortunately, I think Ricky Hammock's night is over. It looks like he has parked it. Carson Catlin, truck doesn't look beat up. He may have used his fast repair. And that is the important thing we talked about in the race info. But yes, every driver out here does have a fast repair. And that's crucial because when we see a wreck like that, if you get yourself in and get totaled, your night's not done. You still have a chance to be out here. Danny Eshelman, looks like he may now have also used a fast repair as that 6 truck is looking stout and cleaned up. Ron Morris Jr. looks like he doesn't have any damage. Neither does Larry McDonald. Sean Hill had to use the fast repair. Kason Harnish, we saw him stay behind it. Was able to sneak around the wreck mostly. A tiny bit of damage to the right rear. You see it just above that right rear wheel, but that is not going to affect him at all, as it's not even a dent. Literally just looks like the paint was maybe scuffed a slight bit. Mark Von Dell in 16th. Christopher McCall. Nicholas Fontenette. Tony Cox, who did have a little damage. Let's see. It looks like he did use his fast repair. Thought maybe the 72 would be able to get away with not using that yet, but the truck must have had more damage than it initially looked like. Justin Ritchie, I want to see how Ken McCall Jr. fared out of all this. He was one of the drivers that had a pretty significant amount of damage. It looks like he did also use his fast repair, so he's going to have to be careful. "16 of 45 laps completed so far here tonight at Daytona International Speedway. And by the way, that last pit stop, these drivers all going to be good on fuel from here if we were to somehow see no more cautions. So we'll see how it's going to pan out. Steve Korsek, Chad Ross, though, making up the first row. That second row, Jackson Holbrook, he's got a lot of damage. I don't know how well that truck's going to fare being the lead pusher, but we'll find out. Here we go. The 27, Steve Korsek, into the Geico restart zone. We are back green here in Wednesday Night Money Racing. Big jump from that inside line. Chad Ross, not sure what went wrong, but he has fallen back in a hurry. Behind him, the 88 is going to fall, or sorry, the 99 rather. Alex Giffen's going to tuck in line. 88 of John Bell is further back here. Let's give John a shout out. I haven't talked about him tonight. Having a solid run right now, though, up 6 spots. We saw him in qualifying. And right now, what do you do if you're one of those guys that were involved in that last incident? A good example of one of those would be Chad Ross or Tony Cox up here with this lead pack. And if they can get to the front, they might be in a safe spot. But I think where they're at right now, maybe in a little bit too much jeopardy. The 20, though, still major front end damage and rear end damage. But he's still up here pushing the 27, trying to get him to lead as long as he can. But on the bottom, here comes Eddie Hawks with a push from Chad Ross. Chad Ross, John Mullahan, 2 of the Team 3 drivers out here tonight. Tell you what, it's good to see Team 3 have more than just one driver back here tonight. It seems like we do see them racing a lot, but not together. It seems like a lot of times they are just one or the other. Still zooming down the backstretch here. 18 laps completed. We are still a handful of laps away from halfway here at Daytona, but the intensity has been go from the start. We really haven't seen much give and take. A couple little mistakes have caused a few big wrecks. And we will see if everybody decides to relax now. We saw 3 wide on that last go, but after that caution, I think maybe everybody's going to think about settling down now for a little bit. Just trying to ride, maybe tick off a couple laps. And we have kicked a couple trucks off the lead lap. It looks like we currently have 20 on the lead lap. Ron Morris Jr. and Danny Eshelman both going to be fighting for that lucky dog spot right now. And we can take a look at him. Danny Eshelman looks like he is not going to get it as of right now. Ron Morris Jr. is still running up here in the lead pack with his teammate Ken McCall Jr. and Sean Hill. He's just going to have to avoid a wreck, and he could get that lucky dog if a caution were to fly. A couple other drivers, I believe it's John Mullahan and Carson Catlin. Catlin's 2 laps down, so is Mullahan, and then Ricky Hammock involved in 2 wrecks pretty early on. His night is over. Up front now, Eddie Hawks has taken the lead. You got to wonder if that outside just not able to push as hard with the damage that that 20 truck poses right now. And I'll tell you what, how about a little midweek crank it up here at Daytona? Here we go. is going to do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up. I hope everybody did enjoy that up front. It is still going to be Eddie Hawks from McCall Motorsports, second Chad Ross, third Steve Korsak on that outside line. Fourth is going to be Jackson Holbrook, and rounding out the top 5 is Alex Giffen. McGiblets says, let's go Tony, and Robert Miller says, let's go McCall Motorsports with 10 to go. Well, I don't know if we need to wait till 10 to go, because right now Eddie Hawks leading the field. Oh, John Moran wasn't able to get off. Can Eddie hold on to it? Oh, what a wicked save by the 45. What did we just see? Oh, my goodness. Let's back this up real quick. Wow, that was a very, very close call here. That one almost caught me off guard, almost like a little bit of a scare, because it looked like John Mullahan was getting off the track, but sometimes that apron can be a little slippery, and you see just comes back up a little bit trying to keep it down. Eddie Hawks does indeed make contact. Wow, how does he hold on to it? I thought right here for sure he was going to lose it. Chad Ross checks up. Steve Korsak goes high. Thankfully, the field wasn't too tightly packed together, so they were all able to hold on to it because of that. Let's ride on board here with the cockpit view of Eddie Hawks. This had to be a pretty scary sight for the driver of the 45. Here we go. You see, as they enter turn 3, he sees Mullahan get on the apron, so he's thinking Mullahan's going to stay there. All of a sudden, right here, it comes up. Oh! And that is some damage. We're going to see if this affects Eddie Hawks. Let's go back live, see how he's doing. Steve Korsak currently sits in the lead. Oh, we got one further back. Looks like he's almost wrecking. I think he saved it again. Who is this now? This is the 4 of Zachary Lima. What happened here? We got guys flailing off the track left and right. Let's go back and take a look at this one real quick with the 4 truck. He's up here leading with his teammates. Oh, maybe just gets turned. One more view of it here. See the 4 on the bottom. Checks. Oh, big check up there. The 20 maybe gets the 27 loose. Checks everybody up to 4, Zachary Lima. And how did he save it? Oh, my good. You see the tire tracks he was laying down out of the tri-oval. Watch this one. This one might be even crazier than what we just saw from Eddie. Here you go. Boom, check up just like that. Gets turned. Look at the hands work. Wow, holy cow. That is easily going to be the save of the night from Zachary Lima. Fortunate part is he does fall back quite a few positions up front. It is still Steve Korsak, and I think everybody has finally settled back down. And we needed that because it was getting crazy. How about Brian Hennings, though, up here in the 74 truck? It's a pretty cool looking paint scheme, VRX simulators. Pimax as well on the hood. And you can't really miss that truck. Out of turn 4, we are coming to 20 laps to go. The way these guys are racing, you'd think it's within the final 10 because they are absolutely going crazy right now. The 20, Jackson Holbrook, has impressed me so far tonight, specifically because he's got a lot of damage on that truck, and it hasn't seemed to affect him. He's been smart about making sure he stays in the draft, doesn't put himself out in front because he knows that truck won't be nearly as fast there. Towards the end, I think we could still see him potentially try to jump to the front, and there's a view of that damage that Eddie Hawks sustained from making contact with his former teammate John Mullahan over at Team 3. And that's pretty significant. That very well might affect the aero of that truck if he were to get out front. 199. Sorry, the 99. Yeah, sorry, the 199 of Mark Math sitting behind the 74 right now of Brian Hennings. 19 laps to go. A couple big movers so far. Brian Hennings was the biggest one. He is up 18 spots right now from where he started. Christopher McCall's up 10. So is Mark Bonzell. It is top 5 payout tonight. It was a $400 payout. I'm not sure exactly what it was based off of. But good solid field as we noted earlier. But it's been pretty aggressive tonight. Didn't think we'd see it that aggressive. A lot of times when there's a lot of laps, we'll see guys make sure they play conservative as they want to get to the pit stop because they know that's their chance to pull away from the rest of the field. And it looked like the 7 right there of Justin Ritchie got a little bit sideways. I'm not sure if he got a push from the 74 or what, but fell back. Chad Ross going to take full advantage of it. Jumps right up in front of the 7 truck. And he's going to get a push now from Alex Giffen. And how about Alex? First money race. I'll tell you what, when I did my first money race, you just don't even know what to expect. I almost felt like I know Alex isn't the case with this. I came out there thinking I'd be one of the best of the guys out here. Boy, did I get humbled quick. These guys can wheel the heck out of the NASCAR Truck Series. And I don't think I finished anywhere close to the money in the first race I did. Takes time and practice, but apparently not for Alex Giffen, because here he is running just outside the top 5, and if he can get inside that top 5, he will be in the money position. And with 18 laps to go, we are going to go to a quick break. Not both commercials, just one tonight, but we are going to stay Ghost Racing Network side by side so you won't miss a thing. We'll be right back. We are back live at Daytona International Speedway on the high banks. Steve Korsek still leading the field, and the first 4 are starting to trend here a little bit. And just as I say that, the 99 is going to jump outside. That's Alex Giffen. He wants more from that 99 truck here early. Going to get in front of Chad Ross, who is a good pusher. And I think they'll make some progress. It looked like the 77 to 38 really couldn't go anywhere, because I was just about to say we were seeing a 4-truck breakaway up front. The 99, Alex Giffen, boy, that thing looks strong. Here we go into the tribal. Big run as we come to 15 laps to go. Coming up on the lap car here, Danny Esserman. They should be able to get around them with no issue here. 3 wide, though, always can get just a slight bit sketchy, especially when some of the guys behind maybe don't know that that lap truck is up and coming. Danny does a nice job making sure he keeps it nice and high and out of the way for everybody to get around him. And they are all going to sneak by, no issues. Take a look further back in this field at some of the drivers. Ron Morris Jr. is still sitting 1 lap down. It looks like Larry McDonald has also went a lap down. Danny Esserman, of course, more than a lap down. I think he's 2 laps down now. Zachary Lima drafting with John Mullahan back here. Had that wicked save. Unfortunately, though. Oh, what are we seeing here? John Mullahan sliding through the grass, locks it up, and is just going to tow it, it looks like. That was interesting, to say the least. Not sure what just happened between him and Lima, but take one more view at this. See, Lima's pushing Mullahan pretty hard here. He's going to try to here. And, oh, makes slight contact, and there goes John Mullahan. Looks like he's able to hold on to it pretty well. And once he gets in the grass, he's just going to lock it down. I think he decided he was done for the night. Go back up front. Boy, that one kind of confused me a little bit. But Zachary Lima, as I was just saying, though, is currently running by himself. Going to need a caution. Ken McCall Jr., the last lead lap truck in the pack here, drafting behind his 2 teammates of Sean Hill and Larry McDonald, who is also not on the lead lap. They got to be a little careful here, make sure that they do stay up in this main pack, as Larry McDonald is going to actually be able to fight Ron Morris Jr. for that Lucky Dog spot, because he is still up here in this lead pack, and that is forcing Ron Morris to make sure he goes up there and races to stay in front of that 80 truck. Tony Cox sitting 4 spots back from where he started, but he did have to use a fast burst, so he's just sitting back and playing it conservative right now in front of him. Mark Vondell up 10 spots right now in 15th. Rocky Thixton, Case and Harnish up 8 spots in 13th right now. Remember, top 5 are the only spots that matter, because those are the only spots that get paid here in money racing. We're not out here for points. We are not out here for bragging rights. We are all out here to get paid. And if they don't get inside that top 5, they're not going to get paid tonight. But here we go. Christopher McCall, been a little bit more quiet so far tonight than what we're used to seeing from him. But here's going to be that aggression. First showing is he's going to jump to that top lane, at least for a moment. He's going to get followed by his teammate Ron Morris Jr., who is in the Lucky Dog spot, sitting 1 lap down right now. And this 3rd lane is going to try to form up. They got blocked by the 199 of Mark Math last time. And you can see the 199. Oh, he's trying to block. He's got to be careful. The 94, Christopher McCall cuts him another break. He's not going to keep doing that as it looks like the 94 trying to get to his outside again. This time, oh, he turned him into the 74. Oh, back up to the wall. Not going to hold on to it. The 74 back down the track. Yellow flag is out. That's Brian Hennings down into the grass out of turn 4. Gets it spinning again, but he's got terminal damage from what it looks like on this truck. And that brings out the third caution of the night with 11 laps to go. And this is going to make things even more exciting as if they weren't already enough. And this looked like initially, again, we're going to take a look at it. The 199 of Mark Math maybe just kind of put himself in an awkward spot. Again, I want to take a view of this before I completely call it out. Watch the pink 199 truck. It's going to be the 5th truck back on that outside top line. You see the 94, and actually let's start this further back down the backstretch because you can see this kind of starts a couple spots. Christopher McCall had tried to make a move on this 199 from the front stretch. Here he goes, going to try another one here, jumps to the outside, 199 blocks. He's going to go back low. 199 blocks again. I'm surprised the 94 didn't turn him here, backs off. Wisely's going to say, hey man, I'm there. I'm going to the outside. And right here, the 199 just kind of drops really low. I know they were 3 wide, but I don't think he had to drop this low. And then he kind of forces himself into a 4 wide position for just a second, it looks like here. One more shot of that before we call it. Not even 4 wide, almost 3 wide here with Ambrose Kniebel. But it was just like a really awkward spot to do it at. And just hooks the 74. Slight contact. It wasn't anything malicious, but just that slight contact sends the 74 down in the 45, back up the track, gets into the wall. Somehow, Christopher McCall just netcodes through him. It looks like the 04, yeah, he was netcoding through a lot of guys, and that saved a lot of the field. Unfortunately, the 188 maybe got a little damage here. The 74 getting the worst of it. Brian Hennings. And then slides back down to the grass out of turn 4. Mark Vondel may have made just slight contact as well, but let's take a ride on board with the 199 of Mark Math for this. And see if maybe we can get any better insight to exactly what's going on right here. Watch down the backstretch here. You'll see this slight contact. That's all it takes. Here you go. And actually, what it sounded like he actually was lifting out of the throttle, but it might have just been a little bit too late as the contact was already happening. Either way, it's done now. Does bring out your third caution, and it's going to make the 74 have to go in and pit as long as he does have another fast repair left. Assuming he didn't have to use one already up front. Steve Korsek still leading the way in the 27 truck. Second is going to be Chad Ross. Third, Jackson Holbrook. Fourth, Justin Ritchie. And fifth is going to be Eddie Hawks. And it looks like, did we have any other incidents here? Oh no, what happened to 99 here? This is under caution. This just happened. Oh, the 199. Oh, wow, that's a hard hit. Comes down. Oh, no. Into the 38 of Chad Ross as well. Chad Ross is not going to be happy about this one. And let's see if maybe he just downshifted in the corner. That's about the only thing I can think to make a truck go that sideways under caution in the banking. Take a listen here to Alex Giffen in the 99 and see if we can hear it. Oh, that's sure enough what it's going to be. Downshifted to the wrong gear too early. And that starts making the back end wheel hop, turns it sideways, gets right into Chad Ross, who I think took a pretty good hit from this. Oh, that's pretty big damage on that 38 that he really didn't want. And if we could hear the chat right now, we'd probably have to apologize for it. Because I'm telling you, Chad Ross probably not too happy. So now that might shuffle things up a little bit. But we do have the 1 to go signal, so we are going green this time. Jackson Holbrook this time is going to be leading that bottom line, and he has a lot of damage behind him, though. Eddie Hawks, again, slight bad blood. These two aren't mad at each other by no means, but just a move that went sour that was supposed to be coordinated between these two last race didn't work out. One of them got in the money position because of it. One of them was taken out of the money position because of it. So we'll see just how willing that 45 is going to help the 20 here, who does have a lot of damage. He might be trying to get around him pretty quick. Eddie Hawks does have his teammate Christopher McCall behind, and Tony Cox has snuck his way back up here into the top 7. But can Steve Korsek hold off the field for 8 more laps? Because that's what it's going to be when we take the green here. Pace car pulls off. We're going to watch it from the spotter view because it is going to get hectic on this restart. No 3 wide rule in play. Green flag is out. The 20 gets a big jump, but all that damage is going to hurt him as Steve Korsek willingly able to pull back to side by side. And now, is it going to be a battle of who gets there first? It's not. The 20's damage is going to pull him right back. The 27, Steve Korsek, jumps back out in front and in charge. Further back, the 7 gets a good push. Justin Ritchie gets that push from the 94, Christopher McCall. He likes it enough that he's going to jump back up top. The 94 going to push the 7, maybe all the way to lead. Big run down the backstretch. The 27 doesn't have the help he needs right now. And look at the run from Justin Ritchie. He is going to get clear of the 27. He's trying to bring the 94, Christopher McCall, with him. He does just in time, but now Christopher McCall is going to slam the door on Steve Korsek. Takes advantage of the 7, trying to bring him with him. Ambrose Kniebel further back is going to go 3 wide. Ken McCall Jr. short off, going to go with Ambrose. And boy, they're really dicing around right now. Already 3 wide, didn't even make it through this first lap. Steve Korsek laying it on the door of the 94 as he was able to get back to the middle lane with the 20 of Jackson Holbrook. 7 laps to go. 27, which lane does he go with? Does he think about dropping low right here? He doesn't. He's going to stick to the middle. Up top, Ambrose Kniebel and Ken McCall Jr. are going to get a run, this time down the backstretch. Take a look from the screenshot view. The 20 moving around just a little bit. Big push from the 03. Trying to get, how about it, one of the fan favorites, Ambrose Kniebel, out here in front. Late in the going at Daytona. If he could get clear, he could have a chance at one of his best money racing wins that we would see. And I tell you what, he would be the most excited driver out of any of them right now if he could get up here and get the win. And right now he is leading that 3rd lane at Daytona. Christopher McCall on the bottom. His teammate is in 2nd on the 3rd lane. Steve Korsek, out back, there's contact. They are not going to make it through. We got more contact out back. The 199, Mark Math. Mark Vondell is also in it. Kason Harnish able to drive through. Sean Hill, looks like he may have also made contact with his teammate. 4th caution of the night, and that will go over our poll for how many cautions we thought we would have tonight. It does beat 3. This started somewhere, I believe, with the 199 of Mark Math. What I could see initially, let's check out the spotter view. Watch the 199 truck. He's in that top lane right now. Oh, you see the 88 drifting up the track. And I think that was a little bit of netcode when he did that. Makes that slight netcode with the 199 of Mark Math. Looks like initially they maybe hold on to it, but then the 188 gets back up into the 199. The 337 makes contact on the bumper to Mark Math. That was Nicholas. And then back down into Mark Vondell, who hits Mark Math pretty hard. And everybody's trying to sneak by after this. You see the 188 up front is still spinning. And that's going to give the 337 some more damage. And boy, I'll tell you what, Nicholas Fontenot just not having the night he wanted to start with. The 199 makes some more contact with the wall. And Mark Vondell and his teammate going to make a little more contact right here. It looks like Sean Hill's got it locked up, hoping maybe his truck will move. It doesn't. And unfortunately, they make head-on contact, give themselves both some extra damage. Let's take another view of this, and let's look at it from pit lane 1. See if this maybe gives us a little bit better idea. You see the contact has already happened right here. And it's going to start all the way back here. Watch the 199, the 88 in the middle. So right here, you see him drift up. Slight netcode or contact. We'll figure it out in the next view. But either way, once that happens, initially they save it, but the 188 still not able to quite gather it up. Gets back up in the 199. The 337 also tags 199. That sends him up into the wall. The 188 spinning up front and then back down the track. There goes Mark Math. Makes a pretty wild shot from Mark Vondell. Almost flips as well. We haven't seen anybody flip. Boy, Kason Harnish. Wow, did he just sneak by in the 51. Larry McDonald as well. And then Sean Hill, fortunately not so lucky. Let's look at this from an aerial shot to see if there was actual contact or if it was more or less just netcode. Watch that pink car with the 88. Here you go, 88 up the track. Yep, it is going to be netcode. They got so close to the game, thought they made contact. And it was on from there. I do want to ride on board here with Kaysen Harnish because, boy, did he do a heck of a job getting through this last one. Watch the view here from the Rowdy Energy 51 machine, as I think he may have saw some things he didn't want to see trying to get through this thing at the last second. Here we go. Let's actually back this up because he's going to have to start missing this from the start. Here we go. Wow, boy, was that some quick reaction time from Kaysen right there. I don't know how he managed to not hit that truck. Sometimes mine almost kind of freezes up. It's almost the equivalent of a deer in the headlights, where you know that you can turn and it's easy to miss, but for some reason you just can't. But not the case there. Kaysen showing those fast reflexes, keep himself from having to use a fast repair. We are going to have a 2-lap shootout once we go back green. The rules, of course, for the 2-lap shootouts or overtime, which we may see depending on how this first one goes, is going to be if drivers take the white flag under green, we will finish the race off with no yellows, and it'll just be if they wreck, they wreck, race it back to the line. However, if a caution flies on that first lap, then we will rack them up and try it again. Let's talk about your top 5. Steve Korsek currently sitting in first. Second, and I got to say it, the man that I am really hoping can somehow bring this thing home, the driver out of Gold Bar, Washington, Ambrose Kniebel, gave the best interview I've ever heard a while ago, and I'm cheering Ambrose on up here from the booth right now. Don't have any fan favorites normally, but man, I'm telling you, I would love to see that 04 get a win. He's more than due for one. Jackson Holbrook's going to start third, having a heck of a night with a damaged truck, so if he still has a fast spare and he gets piled up, his race still is not over. Christopher McCall fourth, one of the aggressive pushers, going to be lined up behind Ambrose Kniebel, and Ken McCall Jr., Eddie Hawk's going to be sitting in fifth with his teammate Ken McCall Jr. just below him. And I wish we had another lap because I'd love to dial up that 04 right now just to see what's going through his head, but unfortunately we don't have enough time. We're going to let him get focused, see if he can finish this thing off. Steve Korsek looking like the favorite pick though right now, as he has been dominant, took the pole again tonight. And here he is leading, making a lot of money here in these money races. Guys still trying to figure out how to beat him. Zachary Lima, his teammate, hasn't been up here with him, currently sits in 7th, so there's still a slight chance we could see these two get together. But if they don't, doesn't really seem like Steve necessarily needs a teammate right now, because him and the 20, Jackson Holbrook, have been working very, very well together. And if you are just tuning in, get yourself comfortable and get ready. It is going to be wild. It's going to be crazy, and it might be a photo finish. We might even see a new winner. It's all about to unfold here with 2 laps to go at Daytona. I'm going to take another view of it from the spotter view to get the initial start because it gets wild. Actually, let's take the pit lane, then we'll go to the spotter view. Pace car pulls off. Steve Korsek rolls in the Geico restart zone. Green flag, back out. 2 more laps at Daytona. The 27 gets a big jump. Will he get clear and drop below? I think he was trying to get out in front. He's got the clear right now, but is he going to stay up top? Zachary Lima already trying to shoot to the middle of the 03, Ken McCall Jr. Oh, Steve Korsek jumps down. Contact between Ambrose Kniebel and the 20 of Justin Holbrook. Eddie Hawks going to return the favor from last race. Leaves him out to dry. Unfortunately, no one's going to go with him. Chad Ross, the 72, Tony Cox. It is chaos right now on the backstretch. Ooh, 3 wide. These guys really snaking around. Can they make it back to the white flag? Ambrose Kniebel still fighting hard on the bottom. It's Steve Korsek, though, in the middle with Jackson Holbrook. I think I've been calling him Justin a couple times, so I do apologize. But further back, Tony Cox washes up just a little bit. Almost gets in the door of Eddie Hawks. Thankfully, he doesn't. Here we go. Still 3x3 coming to the white flag. This time, the 7 thought about jumping out. One more time around at Daytona. Who is going to win it? Mark Vondell. Sean Hill contact further back up front. They're still racing it out. Oh, the 04 Ambrose Kniebel gets on the apron, but he saves it, and he is side by side with Steve Korsek into turn 1. And the 20 of Jackson Holbrook going to give another big push to Steve Korsek. Who's going to get the advantage down the backstretch? This is where it's going to be most crucial. The 94 is giving everything he can to that 04 right now of Ambrose Kniebel. They have the less damaged trucks. It's 2 McCall Motorsports teammates behind him. The bottom and middle right now stand where they are. It is just pushed to the checkered from here. Will we see the 7 maybe jump up in that 3rd lane? Tony Cox still just outside the top 5. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Ambrose Kniebel, Steve Korsek. Who's going to get the better push? Oh, no, the 04 gets shoved down. He comes back up. It's going to be Steve Korsek, though, at the line, winning it at Daytona. Oh, and Ambrose Kniebel came oh so close. Finishes it second, so we're going to get an interview from him anyway. But, oh, man, just need a little bit more out of turn 4. Good win, though, and congratulations to Steve Korosek. That last lap was pretty wild at the end, so let's take a view of it out of turn 4. Things got a little wild here. Watch the big push here from the 94. Not trying to turn him, was trying to push him to the lead. Gets just a slight bit offset right here. That turns to Ambrose. Ambrose does a heck of a job saving it. And then, boy, they wad up and pile up behind, and it was a scrap to that point on of who got into the top 5. But there you go. There's your margin of victory. Back this up a little bit more, actually. Steve Korosek wins it by 8/100ths of a second. So pretty demanding victory. And there's Ambrose Kniebel to 20 Jackson Holbrook. Let's back it up and take a look at this wreck because, boy, it looked pretty wild as well. I saw Eddie Hawks actually flipping. Here you go. Watch it. Yeah, they just all kind of wide up. Guys making contact with each other. And then, I mean, Eddie Hawks right here. Wild ride. Gets up into the catch fence. Starts barrel rolling wildly. Lands back on all 4. And they all scatter from there. Let's go back. Steve Korosek, got to think, is maybe burning it down right now. He does some crazy stuff here. We'll back it up so we can get a chance to see all the crazy stuff he did. As I think him and Jackson Holbrook may have been working together tonight. I'm not 100% sure on that. But it kind of seems like that may have been the case. Get the finishing results while Steve Korosek burns it down. And now we are going to go find your top 3 for interviews. So we'll be right back. Stick with us. All right, and we're here with your top 3. First, we're going to start with third place finisher Jackson Holbrook. Jackson, you got a copy?
Gotcha.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am most impressed with how you managed to stay in the top 3 with as damaged as your truck was. Looks like you got involved in an accident early. Either way, though, you fought back, stayed up here in the top 3. And how does it feel to come home in the podium?
That feels pretty good. Yeah, I had like about a minute or so of damage from that one wreck, and stayed with my teammate Steve the entire race, and then worked out for us.
Looks like it worked out well. You and Steve linked up, and you pushed him just about to win. Everybody got broken up there at the end. How important was it to stick with your teammate there with all that damage you had?
That's pretty important because I had that front end damage, and if I wasn't on his bumper at all, and like I was, wouldn't be able to keep up, and luckily I did.
Well, congrats on the third place finish. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank? Shout out tonight.
I just want to thank my teammates, Steve and Zach. We did pretty good today. Unfortunately, Zach got disqualified for too many incident points, but yeah, there's only 2.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is your third place finisher, Jackson Holbrook in the 20 truck. And now we will move on to your second place finisher, one of the fan favorites, and the man that I am probably the most excited to interview tonight, and that's going to be Ambrose Kniebel. Ambrose, you got a copy?
10-4, Austin. I got a copy.
All right, we'll turn your volume up just a little bit here. Well, Ambrose, I thought you had the win, man. I'm not going to lie. I was cheering for you up here. Normally not biased, but, man, everybody, I think, wanted to see you get a win. You were so close. What happened out of turn 4 that got you a little loose?
Well, I think it was Christopher McCullough. He was pushing the heck out of me, and I just couldn't hang with his pushes. So I kept, I was bumping into Jackson, I think, and Steve, and I was ping-ponging all over the place. I was just doing the best I could to hang on to it. That's basically the moral of the story there, and I did the best I could to bring it home.
Well, you were really close to bringing it home, but the good thing here, finishing second, you're gaining momentum. Next time, is the strategy to go to the front or stay in the back during these money races?
It depends on the percentage of fuel and all of that, but I'm generally a ride in the back guy, so I'm probably going to keep doing that strategy.
All right, well, hopefully it continues to work out for you. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Absolutely. I'd like to thank FEG for putting it on. I'd like to thank Austin, the Green Ghost Racing Network for the broadcast. You do an awesome job. Appreciate you, bud. I'd like to thank my sponsor, liveandrunningiowa.com, Suicide Prevention and Awareness Group. Head to their website and donate, please. Every dollar counts. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ambrose Knievel in the 04 brings it home second. Good finish. And now we'll move on to your winner, Steve Korsak. Steve, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I hope I didn't hurt your feelings when I was saying that I was rooting for Ambrose at the end, but that's because I think everybody pretty much knew you were the favorite. You looked fast all night. You got another pole, stayed in front most of the race. But how'd you get it done on that last restart, knowing you had a damaged truck behind you?
I was just hoping that the damage was mild enough that he could stay to my bumper, and I was just trying to lay the door on Ambrose there. It was going to be pretty close at the end. I don't know if I would have got him, but he got knocked sideways, and that just finished it for us. But I'm proud of the team. We all did really good. Lima probably would have had a top 5 if he didn't get DQ'd there on the contact. So just proud of everybody.
All right, and I do got to ask you one more thing here. I know you can't give away any secrets by any means, but we got a lot of people wondering, man, how do you continue to get the pole here at all these super speedways? I think you're on like a 5 streak.
There's a really simple trick to it. You go straight in the straights and left in the corners.
All right, well, I will make sure that some of these guys take that advice, and we'll see if it starts working out for them. Before we let you go, though, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Yeah, shout out to you for the broadcast. Can't wait to watch it back. Shout out to Dale Cup. I ran with Jackson and Lima tonight. And shout out to FEG for putting it on. It was fun.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's your winner tonight. Steve Korsak got the pole, led the most laps, and wins the race in the 27 truck. Let's go over your finishing order before we wrap things up tonight. We just talked to him. Your winner tonight was Steve Korsak. Second, Ambrose Knievel. Oh, so close. You heard him saying he was doing everything he could to hold on to it, taking the pushes from the 94 of Christopher McCall. Third is going to be Jackson Holbrook. Chad Ross, fourth. Ken McCall Jr., last money spot, gets fifth. Sixth, Justin Ritchie. Seventh, Alex Giffen. Eighth is going to be Rocky Thixton. Ninth, Christopher McCall. 10th, Tony Cox. 11th, Sean Hill. 12th, Kason Harnish. 13th, Ron Morris Jr. 14th, Larry McDonald. Eddie Hawks, 15th. Mark Vondell, 16th. John Bell finishes 17th. Zachary Lima, 18th. Moving back in the field to 19th is going to be Danny Eshelman. 20th, Carson Catlin. 21st, Nicholas Fontenot. And rounding out the field, 22nd and 23rd, Mark Math and Brian Hennings. 24th, John Mullahan. Ricky Hammock finishes 25th. I thought we only had 24 drivers. I think we had gained another one there at the end. Threw off the way I said the results a little bit. But that is going to be your finishing order. We did take a look at the finish. It was a great race all night. These guys put on one heck of a show. Don't forget, next stop here for Ghost Racing Network tomorrow night, we head over to the PGR Money Racing Series. It's going to be the Blaster 110. That will be here with me, the Green Ghost, on Ghost Racing Network at Talladega in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. We've seen a lot of good, exciting racing over there at the PGR Money Racing Group, and we look to see that continue tomorrow. I hope everybody did enjoy. If you liked it, don't forget to let us know in the comments with a thumbs up. We will see you guys next time. Have a good night.